When you're doing electronics repairs, you want to be able to source replacement parts at an affordable price and able to offer reliability and longevity in order to ensure that you don't need to do the repair once again. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys 5 different vendors in which I personally have sourced parts from in the past. These are vendors that all have their different strengths and weaknesses, and I'm going to be kind of outlining them, also putting them on a ranking from number 5 all the way to number 1. Hopefully, if you guys are looking for parts for very different scenarios, you guys are going to be able to take something from this video, and I hope to bring you guys some insight. Now, to start off with, number 5 is going to be Aliexpress. So Aliexpress, for those of you guys who do not know, is a marketplace in which a lot of vendors from China are able to sell to an audience that is global. For that reason, this is one of the benefits of Aliexpress. If you're living in Europe or if you're living in South America, you can purchase from Aliexpress as easily as I am sitting in America. So for that reason, I think Aliexpress has that benefit going for it. The only issue is Aliexpress, you're ordering parts from China, and that kind of is a good and a bad within itself. For one, you're able to get parts for very, very cheap and affordable prices, and the downside is sometimes you are left with duds. When it comes to ordering from China, you gotta do your due diligence and make sure the sellers are what they said to be. Even though the price might seem very, very affordable and a great value, you gotta do your research when it comes to the seller. They could be selling you complete garbage when it comes to replacement parts that'll break in a few days. You really don't want to put in a garbage part and then come 3 or 4 days later it's already broken or it's already malfunctioning. For that reason, Aliexpress is going to be number 5 on my list, but there are some instances where you do kind of want a cheap panel, and that's kind of where I have my insight today. For instance, if you are doing like a trade-in program, but the only catch is that the iPhone needs to have a working screen, that's where Aliexpress would be really good, in which you are able to buy a very, very cheap screen, put it on the iPhone, bring it to the buyback program, in which you can get top dollar for your old iPhone. And that's where I think Aliexpress is really well. For number 4 on my list, I have Amazon and eBay. These are 2 platforms that I'm kind of bundling in together at this time, and they all kind of offer the same reason as why I would go to them. Instead of shipping an item from China, these are vendors that are going to be located within the United States. So Aliexpress had the downside being shipped from China, so it's going to take generally around 2 to 4 months to get parts to your doorstep, but Amazon and eBay generally get parts to your doorstep within a week. And with the Amazon Prime, if you do have that, you're able to get parts to your doorstep within 2 days or maybe even sometimes 1 day, which is really nice. A lot of the sellers do bundle in tools. So if this is your first repair and you've never really done many iPhone repairs in the past and you don't really have any tools on hand, I say Amazon and eBay is a great place to start. You're able to buy parts for cheap and you're able to get tools. Now, be it these tools aren't going to be very amazing, they're going to be very flimsy in quality, and overall they'll get the job done, but if you're doing multiple repairs, they're not going to cut it. So for that reason, Amazon and eBay is going to be perfect if you're doing a first-time repair. Keep in mind that Amazon, eBay, you're going to have to do the same thing as Aliexpress. Make sure you're buying from a reputable seller that has a good reputation, good reviews, and you should be pretty safe to use Amazon and eBay. My next pick for number 3 is going to be Apple. Apple is a company that generally discourages third-party repairs, and this third-party repair program in which you can buy iPhone parts is kind of a case study into why Apple discourages repairs. Now, I could probably make like a whole entire like video on why Apple discourages repairs, but I'm going to be kind of detailing what that program is at a very surface level. So, why would you buy from Apple for a replacement part? Is because Apple offers OEM panels that are going to be identical to the ones that come original, fresh out of the box. For that reason, it's going to offer the best performance and it's going to offer the best colors if you're buying, let's say, an iPhone screen. But Apple does make it really, really difficult when it comes to purchasing any sort of iPhone screen from their website. This is really highlighted in the checkout process, in which, let's say today I'm interested in purchasing an iPhone 12 screen. An iPhone 12 screen, normally on any other website, you just click a button, add to cart, and you're all set. Enter your credit card information and you're gone. But with Apple, they want you to enter the serial number, which is not too difficult of a task, you know. You go to your settings and then you're able to grab that serial number within a minute and you should be all set. But then they add a second layer, which you need to open up a PDF that leads to a repair manual for an iPhone 12. And then you have to kind of read through it and try to find this certain particular phrase and then bring it back to the checkout website, and only then you can start your checkout. Yeah, you could probably like Control F and try to find that particular phrase within that PDF. It still adds a second layer, a hurdle towards checking out an iPhone, which really highlights to me why Apple wants to discourage third-party repairs. What really discourages me from going to Apple and buying parts is going to be their price. Apple really prices their replacement parts very, very high when compared to their competitors. If you're considering like a brand new iPhone 12 screen, you're going to be paying around $250 for that screen. And then if you conjuncture with the fact that you could just walk into the Apple store and probably pay like around $280 to get that screen replaced at Apple, or you don't even have to lift a finger to like take apart that iPhone, it really kills it and really questions why you would even buy from Apple or buy a replacement part from Apple in the first place. So for that reason, I can't really recommend buying from Apple. The only reason I would think of buying from Apple is if you're living very far away from an Apple store and you really want that genuine OEM part, and maybe then I could justify buying from Apple, but other than that, I can't really justify buying from them. For my number 2 pick is going to be iFixit. iFixit is a company that I've ordered quite extensively from the past. I use their toolkit, and I say their toolkit is really well made. Their parts are also really high quality, and you're going to be able to buy a part that is going to be way cheaper than Apple, but it's going to be higher quality than an Amazon or eBay part. A lot of the times when you buy from iFixit, they're going to include a guide and some quality tools as well. Now, these tools are going to be leaps ahead of what you can buy from Amazon and eBay. And from my experience, these tools are really nice. You know, they give you a really nice screwdriver that has like a detachable bit system. It has really nice quality guitar picks. The suction cup is really well made as well. And I think the tool kit that they bundle in is going to get the job done. It's going to last you probably even in the future if you decide to work on electronics even more. The only issue I have with iFixit is that their prices is still a little too high when compared to competitors. Yes, they do offer a higher quality screen, but for the price, it's really not that justifiable when compared to competitors. So where would I use iFixit is if this was my first repair and I'm willing to spend a little bit of extra money to buy a higher quality part along with a higher quality toolkit, then I think iFixit is going to be my go-to. Also, if I was interested in helping like a family member fix an iPhone, or if I'm interested in fixing my own personal iPhone, I would order from iFixit as well. You know, in the past, I've ordered some of their batteries to replace my own personal iPhone, and the batteries are very well made, and they've lasted just as well as the OEM ones in some cases. So that leads me to number 1, which is my go-to vendor for sourcing iPhone parts and any electronic parts, really, is going to be Injured Gadgets. Injured Gadgets is a company that I've featured quite a bit in the past, and mainly because of their LCD buyback program. I'll have a video in the link in the description of me detailing what the LCD buyback program is for Injured Gadgets, but essentially you're able to send in a broken iPhone screen, and in return they'll give you some store credit that you can use for later purchases. So for that reason, I have like a lot of store credit with Injured Gadgets that I use towards my repairs. And in my opinion, Injured Gadgets has always had really quality parts for a really affordable price, good customer service, and overall, I really enjoy doing business with them. You know, on Injured Gadgets, you'll also have a very wide selection of different parts to buy from. On iFixit, you only really had like one option or one different type of screen to buy from. But on Injured Gadgets, you have a very like wide range of different tiers that you can buy from, and different tiers could be used in different scenarios. They'll have low quality screens, and they'll have medium quality screens, and they'll also have brand new, well, not really brand new, but refurbished OEM panels that are almost identical to the ones that you could buy from Apple. And for that reason, I think Injured Gadgets really shines as my go-to vendor. Now, the only issue that I have with Injured Gadgets is that they do not offer free shipping. So sometimes you really have to factor in the shipping cost when it comes to buying from Injured Gadgets. On Amazon or eBay, they already include the shipping costs with the item, but on Injured Gadgets, you gotta kind of keep that in the back of your mind when it comes to buying from them. They do offer free shipping with $100 or above. If you're just purchasing, let's say, one iPhone 12 screen, you're gonna expect to pay around $6 to $10 in shipping just to get that item to your doorstep, which can kind of add up to the costs if you're interested in doing like a repair for a profit, like kind of what I'm doing for the Flipping for a Profit series. But if you're ordering multiple parts and you're able to bundle them up together and reach that $100 threshold, I say Injured Gadgets is a really solid place to buy from. So those are going to be kind of my concluding thoughts behind all of these different vendors. All of them have their different strengths and weaknesses, and depending on your situation, some of these vendors will be better than the others. Now, I do have a very sixth option that I have in the works right now that I am quite excited to bring to you. It has the potential of buying OEM parts at a price point that is cheaper than Aliexpress, which is quite mind-blowing to me. But I think that I'm still working through the numbers, and I'll have that video ready very, very shortly. But if you guys are interested in hearing more about that, make sure to stay subscribed, and I'll be presenting you guys that information very, very soon. So I all hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I wish you guys luck with your repairs.